There were a whole bunch of games.
Great games.
Yeah, there was. Shut up. And we're going to start because we did get caught up with Denver and Minnesota. Yeah, good win. Jamal Murray had one of those nights, the 43-pointer, 16 of 29 from the field. They win it 127-114. By the way, just if you're keeping Jamal Murray stats specific, when he scores at least 40, the team doesn't lose. They're 7-0. Jokic with 26, 19, and 10, little triple-double there in all 3 games. A historic list that he joins as well. However, the news that broke before this game yesterday was official, that Anthony Edwards is going to miss about 2 weeks with a right hamstring strain. Chandler, at, probably 8 games or so. How concerning is that?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, anytime you take anyone's best player off the court for that amount of time is scary, and especially a hamstring. That's something that we all know it can linger. We all know you can't rush back from that. That can turn into something that could end up missing months at a time. So it's a tough blow, but it also does create opportunity for these young guys that it could possibly pay off later for this team if they happen to make a deep playoff run. Getting guys like Dillingham that experience, getting Shannon experience. Bones Highland, he's kind of been bounced around last couple of years. Now he can be himself, be aggressive, do what he does, try and score the basketball. But it's going to be a heavy dose of Julius Randle, McDaniels, Dante DiVincenzo is going to have to be big. Those guys are going to all have to have the green light and collectively kind of make up for the production that Anthony Edwards brings, but it's not going to be easy.
And it's a good basketball team. And one thing that they got working in their favor is the schedule. The schedule is working in their favor. They got the Lakers coming up, Hornets, Nets, Knicks, Jazz, Kings, Jazz again. That's favorable for them. I think they can survive that without Anthony Edwards. They have a lot of talent on this group. They got a lot of veteran leadership that can get them through. Julius Randle, this is going to be an opportunity for him to step in. McDaniels, this is going to be another opportunity for him to step in. Those are the guys that led them last night, and other guys. Nas Reed coming in, going to do their thing. DiVincenzo. They got a lot of guys that can weather them through this storm for the next 14 days until Anthony Edwards get back. So that's one thing that's in their favor that they can have hope in. But other than that, they hope that I'm sure they're hoping that this is not going to be something that's going to linger for a while.
I couldn't agree more. This is absolutely an opportunity for the young players to come up, get a chance to play, get those minutes, gain their confidence. Obviously, it's easier said than done with losing such an impactful player like Anthony Edwards. But obviously, you want to be careful with this early in the season, taking care of his body, making sure he's healthy for this postseason run. But it's also a scary injury because this is something, like you said, can linger. And this is something that could affect him for the rest of the season. So obviously, Minnesota wants to be extremely careful with him, make sure he's 100% healthy before he touches the floor. I could see this going longer than 2 weeks. Like I said, you want to make sure he's 100% healthy moving forward this season. So it's going to be big for these young guys to step up in his absence. And like I said, you can build their confidence for this late season run.
You know what this shows me, though? He put the pedal to the metal in training camp.
Absolutely.
Like, if you have a hamstring injury this early in the season, that tells me you came in prepared, willing to lead, ready to go, and trying to lead by example, and you probably didn't sit out a lot of drills in training camp. Because, both of you guys know that. When you come into camp and you really pushing yourself to get in shape, get your teammates in shape, you want to lead by example, you want to be that leadership figure, you want to be that captain figure, and you have a hamstring so early in the season, that just tells me he came in the season ready, So for this 2 weeks, I'm sure he can rehab his body, get back in shape, and he's going to put a lot of pressure on the West.
And you mentioned their schedule. It is a little favorable, but before the season starts, I thought the Jazz would be 2 wins.
I was going to say.
They're kind of rolling now. Charlotte's not going to lay over. So, again, as favorable as their schedule is compared to the other teams they could play.
Also, the Knicks aren't.
They're still going to have to compete. They're still going to have to play.
Absolutely.
But I do like that they can just
on
put
paper,
Mike Conley.
It's
definitely favorable on paper, but it could be a lot worse. Yeah. But now what a luxury to have Mike Conley. You can just throw him back in the lineup, have that floor general. But Julius Randle, this is now your team for the next 2 weeks. Get going. He's got to be. He's got to get busy. He's got to be uber aggressive, and I think he will.
All right, so let's talk a little Denver, because we know Jamal Murray, that knock has always sort of been, doesn't come into the season quite at the right shape, doesn't really seems to disappear, honestly, is what we've said year in, year out. But this season, he's averaging 30 a game through the first 3 games, and he's had at least 23 points in all 3 of those bad boys. So I'm still looking for that first all-star appointment, Lou. Could this be the time?
The window's closing. I got to be honest. I'm glad that he's off to a great start. I'm glad that he's stepping into what he is. We always have a conversation about Jokic and being in an MVP conversation. And then usually after that conversation starts, we start talking about, well, who's the wingman? Who's going to be the other guy that's going to help these teams win basketball games? Jamal Murray has been that guy for Denver for a number of years now. He's a champion. He's everything but the individual statistician that we want him to be. Like, we want him to have these individual stats and have these things on his resume. He's off to a great start, but when I say the window is closing, you got guys that's emerging. You know, we talked about Austin Reeves on this show having an opportunity to be a first-time All-Star if he's going to have a shot. You know, Wemby and the guys down in San Antonio, if they keep playing the way that they're going to play, they're going to have an opportunity to have one or two guys come in. And so in a West with so much individual talent, with so much star power, look at the Lakers, LeBron James, Luka. Those are household names. Those are legacy acts. You got to compete with a lot of different guys. Now, if he's going to get a Canadian look for the international team, that's going to be something different. But he has to perform night in and night out at a level like this if he even wants to be mentioned in the class of some of these guys that are up and coming. And he's one of those guys, he deserves it, but he has to be consistent throughout the season and not just the postseason. Yeah,
he's always been fascinating to me, too, because his best basketball comes in the playoffs, right? And then the finals, which is a good thing to do, right?
Yeah.
That's you want your guy playing the best in the playoffs. For him, though, it hasn't happened early and consistent enough to get that first All-Star nod. They're going to win enough games just to start getting the votes. Jokic is a shoo-in. He's a kick-in. The guy, we haven't even talked about him yet. And it's 7th show of the season, too, and he's dominating, average triple-doubles every single game. He's going to continue to do that. We're almost numb to his stats. And if you look across the league, like Lou just said, these numbers are getting more gaudy and gaudy every single night. So you can get lost in the sauce here real quick by not throwing your name in this 40-ball hat, going to have 50, going to have 60-point games. Those are the things Jamal Murray has to continue to do. He's got to be healthy. They got to win games, and right now they're doing both.
I mean, I think it's pretty crazy that, we're talking about a guy that shows up every postseason compared to talking about him in the regular season. Obviously, when it comes to him making an All-Star, you're looking for consistency. Obviously, the level that he's playing at right now is where you want him to be all the way towards that All-Star break. Yeah. So with that being said, if this team can be a 1-2 seed in the West and he's, consistent in how he's playing right now, I do think he has a great chance of making it this season. And it obviously would be his first nod. But also, like you guys said, it's so much star power in the West, and it's so much star power throughout the league. That it is a little harder, and his window is closing, especially with the age and all the young talent coming up. But with the level he's playing at right now, I think he has a great chance.
I think what helps him is USA versus international, though. He's going to be considered an international guy, right? So, outside of Wemby, SGA, Luka, excuse me if I'm forgetting somebody else, but those three, there you go.
Giannis.
But you got to look at it from a guard perspective, though. Mm-hmm. So,
we're getting sidetracked. How does that voting work? Is it literally?
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure how it works. But if that's the case, he's going to be considered an international guy, and so
it's going to help.
That may work in his favor.
And not to mention, like Boogie said, if he's averaging 25 and 7 and 4, and they're the 2 seed in the West, they're probably getting 2 All-Stars, and he's getting in. Yeah. He hasn't had those type of numbers come February when All-Star break happens. So this is, I think, this is the year that they're healthy. They have an unbelievable team. They added depth. They have a great starting 5, and they have the best player in the world. He is the huge piece of their success, though, because everyone knows how good Jokic is. Everyone's going to take that away. Jamal Murray has opportunities that no one else across the league has playing with Jokic.
I like when somebody's very confident in what they have. Julian Strawther believes that his team has the best starting 5 in the league, Chandler. It's a heck of a statement.
I mean, it's not good. You look at Aaron Gordon, Cam Johnson, Jokic,
it's not far
Murray
off.
And Braun. I mean, OKC, it's hard to not look at them if they're the defending champs. Cleveland, when they're healthy, they have a really, really good starting 5. But Denver is right there again.
I like the Clippers starting 5. If we're just talking starting 5s.
Yeah, I mean, listen. It's not a crazy. It's not a crazy statement for this kid to say that. I mean, they are.
I don't think it's crazy.
They're legit, and they added depth. I think they upgraded with Cam and to get a little bit more shooting. They bring back Bruce Brown. They add a guy like Jonas Valanciunas, so they have depth too. But as far as starting 5. Yeah, I think them and OKC, Cleveland.
I love that. See, wasn't crazy.
Yeah, I don't think this is far off. Shout out to Julian. It's one of my young puppies from Vegas. But I don't think this is a far off statement. Obviously, the talent is there. This is a championship group. They've proven it before. They've had an incredible offseason by getting rid of one player and bringing back about 3 or 4. So I do think this is a very, very talented group. The starting five is one of the top in the league, so this isn't a far-off statement. I can
He also
somewhat
played
agree.
1 minute last night, so he might be justifying why he's not playing because they're starting five. This might be a chess move
like
he's
it.
doing here.
Yeah, it's not far off, but again, if we're just looking at names around the league, we're 3 or 4 games in, right? Nothing has happened yet, but I like the Clippers. I like the Mavericks. I like a couple of these teams in the Western Conference. Obviously, OKC is going to be the big dog, and I'm just brushing them aside like it doesn't matter because they're a proven winner.
Houston's got a great starting five.
Houston, a lot of teams have a great starting five, but as you can see with Luka and LeBron and AE, it's going to come down to health, right? Everybody looks good on paper. How do you sustain injuries? How do you sustain some of this adversity that's going on so early in the season?
Absolutely.
It's weird that we're starting with all these teams that haven't lost a game yet, but we're not talking about one of them. But anyway, Sixers are up next because they're having themselves quite a little time here, starting